guys, it's Jack back up in this bitch with 10 Minutes Fitness. Today I want to talk to you about steroids and performance enhancing drugs. Okay, so obviously before I begin, one thing I want to make very clear. Obviously steroids in a lot of places are illegal, and they come with a certain set of risks, to you and your health. So before we begin, I want to make it very clear that my official response on this to everyone watching this, my official advice I want you to come away from this video with, is do not fuck with them. Do not fuck with steroids or performance enhancing drugs. Okay? I'm not getting sued for anything on this, This is really, this is just my thought process, because I'm someone who's interested in, strength training and improving my physique. So obviously it's come across my mind at some point, because obvious reasons, it'd get me to my goal twice as fast or more. But so yeah, when I looked at it, looking at it logically, taking pros and cons of them, my well, obviously my choice in the end was no. I'm not going to fuck with them. But okay, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Okay, so the pros, quite obvious. Quite obviously that it's going to allow you to gain strength and size, and drop body fat whilst maintaining muscle, much more effectively, much more quickly, and to a greater extent overall than you would be able to do naturally. So, I mean, that's pretty much, to be honest, that's why recreational users of steroids do fuck with them. That's why lifters fuck with them. But the cons of steroids, for me, just outweighed the pros. I mean, so to begin, the biggest con for me was that obviously the shit's illegal, right? I mean, fucking with steroids could land you with a criminal record, which for me was just enough to put me off, because at the end of the day, I love fitness and I love the gym, but I'm not risking my career, and everything like that over some damn gains. I mean, it's a hobby. It's supposed to enrich my lifestyle. It's supposed to add to my life. So, I'm not risking my career for some gains. Another implication of steroids being illegal is obviously that it's all traded, it's all accessible through the black market. And why that's so scary is because with it being black market, and a black market supply chain, therefore, it's hard to know what you're getting. It's really difficult to know that the product you're getting is clean. Well, I say clean, I mean, don't expect it to be pharma grade. It's nearly impossible. If it's a black market supply chain, that it's going to be pharmaceutical grade quality. So for me, the idea of injecting something into my body, if I don't know exactly what it is and I don't know that it's good quality stuff, I mean, that to me is ludicrous. That would scare the hell out of me, because I feel something's a bit amiss after doing that in my body. I'd freak out, But, yeah. And the deal is, even if you could somehow get a pharmaceutical grade product, even then, the pure substances do still provide a certain degree of risk to the user. I mean, don't get me wrong, with the exception of a few, such like DMP, insulin, and a lot of pro-hormones, which on and off seem to be legal, but with the exception of a few, a lot of them can be actually used quite safely if you know what you're doing. And I believe it's if you keep on top of things like your blood work, keep an eye out for anything going amiss with your health because of them. Yeah, so being illegal, just that alone it provides all those cons for me, which is enough to dissuade me from taking it. And even if they were legal and you could get the real stuff, you've got that to think about too. Another con I can think of would be it's very expensive. A lot of the substances, certainly more than I could afford. I'm sure that's influenced by the black market too, but in some way. But obviously, the stuff costs a lot to get, and a further extension of that problem is that once you jack, do not go back, which really means that once you start penning the stuff, once you start taking steroids and PEDs, you're obviously fucking with your hormone levels, and once you're fucking with your hormone levels to the extent that a lot of these guys who use the shit do, once you come off, they're not going to go back to their natural levels. You're not going to go back to your natural hormone balance, because you've just completely you've fried things all over your body. Your body's become reliant on you supplying them, and what's actually going to happen is your levels go to way below what they actually were before you started taking the shit. So what you'll actually end up doing once you come off is you won't just lose any gains you made. Okay, so that myth of I'll do a cycle and keep my gains, that is a myth. That won't happen. You'll what's very rarely it will happen is what's more likely to happen is you come off and you lose more than the gains you made on the shit. So you do really need to keep taking it if you start, which for me is that seems horrible, because I don't know that I'm going to want to do that shit. Obviously the financial commitment too, I don't think I'm going to want to be doing that, as long as I want to be involved in fitness. If you start doing this shit for a long time, it's more than more than starting over. It's more than going back and starting over when you come off, which for me it just sounds terrible. And obviously if you're someone who goes ahead and decides all these risks are worth it and actually ends up taking steroids and PEDs, you're obviously very, being big and strong and shredded is very clearly very important to you. So once you come off this, that's gonna devastate you mentally. And hear all kinds of stories about people that do actually come clean off it, and they end up, a lot of them, they have what's called Superman complex, meaning that they were once, in their opinion, great, so great, and now all of a sudden, because they've lost all of that, they're nothing now. Because they based all their life around being big and jacked. That once you take that away, they become very depressed. They can't look in the mirror without being disgusted at themselves, and that just doesn't sound like something that I want to be. It doesn't sound like somewhere I want to find myself, at any point in the future. So, and I don't want to be paying out crazy amounts every month for these drugs just to maintain this look, maintain that look. Not got it yet, but anyway, guys, I think that's pretty much everything I have to say on that today. So thank you for watching. I've been Jack with 10 Liters Fitness. I'll see you in the next one.